Thank you for tuning in. This is Pamela Promotes Parker. Again, I'm an associate broker for Rocky Mountain Real Estate Advisors. And today I have Tara Krauss with me, and she owns Parker Headshots. So I'm really excited about this interview because Tara and I actually met over social media during quarantine. So it's been an incredible experience to meet someone like that. She reached out to me because of a photo she saw. And so hence what her business is. I'm not going to tell you what that is. I'm going to let her tell you. But what she basically does is she propels people in the profession and lifestyle. So Tara, I just have to ask you the basic question first, because I don't want to steal your thunder, and you're such a great conversationalist, I've already found out. Tell me what your business is. Tell us all what your business is.
Okay, so I have Parker Headshots. I specialize in headshot photography. I have started out, I photographed babies, families, children, maternity, things like that. And then when I was inspired by someone who solely does headshots and the passion that he saw for his work, I started studying under him, and I learned there's so much more to a headshot. People just think it's just you, like that, but they don't realize the depth of the emotion involved, because what drew me in to reach out to you was your picture. I could see your personality through it, and so that's what I strive for in my headshots, is to bring out the personality, take away the boredom. People think headshots are very boring, and that's not so true, because you're not a boring person. Why should the photo that represents you to the rest of the world be boring? It doesn't match, right?
Right. That's really, that's profound. And that's why you reached out to me. But, as we discussed too, your mentor was the person that did my headshot.
Right.
So you saw that talent.
I know that style.
Right. And I've looked at your website, and even though, you use the same style, you still bring out that personality in everybody. So, so tell me a little bit more about what makes you different from other photographers. Can you go into a little bit more detail about that? Like, how do you help people? I feel like I'm terrible in front of the camera. How do you help people, show that personality, or is it all, off of your end? Like, tell us about that.
I think that my biggest attribute and asset is that I'm a pretty shy person, and I observe people. Like, I remember I had a boss long ago. He's like, "You got to watch out for those quiet ones. You never know what they're thinking." And I was like, "That's so interesting." But having been the person who gets a little nervous in situations, when people get in front of a camera, as we've been joking about, you get nervous. And because I can relate to that, I can use tips that help me, and I can use things that I've learned through the study of the headshot photography to put you, if you were my client, to put you at ease and to talk with you and just help you forget that the camera is there.
Awesome. Yeah. So what's your favorite customer story or client story?
Okay, well, I think it was two. So my favorite repeat client it was a girl studying at NYU, and New York is near and dear to my heart because that's where all of my upper education, whether it was through, the Merchant Marine Academy was in New York, New York Institute of Photography, and now with the Headshot Crew, it's all, New York is the mecca of photography. And so when she reached out to me when I was working at a Denver studio to do her headshots, I was really happy that when I moved my business to Parker, she followed me. So she was on break from New York, from NYU as an acting student, and so she followed me to repeat her headshots, and she gave me a glowing review that said I was on par with any New York photographer, and that just meant so much to me because I put so much time and energy and heart into my work that really meant a lot to me. And then I also do like convention work or on location work. And the most memorable client I had there, so we were shooting probably 100, there was 2 photographers, and we shot 100 convention people during the span of one 8-hour period. And we were supposed to be closing up shop, and this lady that I'd photographed came running in with this really tall man saying, "One more, please, one more." And I'm like, "Oh, we're supposed to be done." And then he started talking, and he was this very tall, handsome Italian man. I was like, well, okay. So I photographed him, and he was so kind, and he was so grateful, and that was just nice. It felt good to do that nice thing, just kind of wasn't hurting anybody going 5 extra minutes. he emailed me like a week later. We were talking about traveling, and since he was from Italy, he sent an itinerary, a planned out 30-day itinerary for me and my husband when we have time to take a month to go to Italy. And I thought, wow. So it just goes to show you that you put in a little extra and it might mean something to somebody. And, you know, it's that give and take of the things that bring some joy into our life. So that was a really fun experience.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I can tell you put your whole heart and soul into it. And when you do that, I mean, great things happen, right? You meet wonderful people.
Yeah.
So what is something that most people don't know about you?
I would say that they don't know that I went to a military academy. Then I think, well, if they went to my website, they do. But I think people look at me and they think, you're shy, you're petite, you know, you seem very fragile. And then they find out I go to a military academy and I graduated with pretty high marks, and that I lived a completely different life than I do now. And I think it surprises some people.
Well, thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you.
And I know your husband was Navy,
20
right?
years, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, thank you all.
Thank you.
So what do you love about the Pinery, living in the Pinery? I know you moved here. You've probably moved around a lot.
Yes.
So tell us why you chose the Pinery.
The trees.
The trees.
Yeah, I'm a Montana girl, and living near mountains and trees is what's comfortable for me. And we've lived in a lot of places where there were neither. And when we were house hunting, I know Sven, my husband, had come once. I had come another time, and then we came together and we pointed out this area because of the trees, the uniqueness of the houses, the spacing. It wasn't cookie cutter. And now, you know, when we saw this particular house that we live in, there's decks all the way around it. So I'm almost like that cat sunning in the sunny window. I love to read outside on my decks. And so I'll move time of year. I just love to be outside, you know, the foxes and the squirrels and the rabbits and the deer and then the trees, the wind in the trees. It's just, it feeds a little bit of that nature that I need while having all the conveniences of Parker and Denver.
Yes, the wonderful lifestyle that the Pinery
yes,
brings.
absolutely.
Yes, the wildlife, right.
Yes.
And your studio is just beautiful.
Thank
So when they come to see you, they'll get to get the full picture of this place that you've done an amazing job with too.
It's always fun. I'll have, you know, I can bring in a makeup artist for my sessions if women want that. And we'll have the windows open for the nice north-facing light, and I'll be like, what are you looking at? And they're like, there's a deer laying right there and a baby. And I'm like, you don't get this downtown.
Well, I have one last question for you, Tara, because I know that you've traveled a lot. You've had a lot of experience through the military. You've started your business and just taken it, you know, 100x of it. And so what would you tell yourself, you know, if you went back to your younger self, or even back to someone like my son who's filming us, is, you know, they're getting their business going in photography. What would you tell your younger self?
I think it sounds so cliche, but follow your heart. If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. If you do those things and stay true to the things that really speak to you, take the advice of others, take their knowledge, take their experience, but filter it out and listen to what really resonates with you. Take the good. You know, you don't have to take everything everybody thinks you should do. Listen to yourself and trust yourself, and let that path lead you to wherever you need to go.
That is wonderful advice. 100% agree. So I tricked you. I said one last question, but this is an easy one. So how can we get a hold of you, or they get a hold of you if they want to schedule a time to come and you know, brighten their life with a beautiful photo?
Yeah, absolutely. So parkerheadshots.com is my main website. Okay. I also have Tara Krauss, TARAKRAUSS.com, and that shows you I do have some other creative work. So if you want to learn more about me as a person and other things that I do, and be able to access the Parker Headshots website, just go to tarakrauss.com or parkerheadshots.com. Okay. And you can reach me any way you need to reach me.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us today, Tara. This has been fun. And thank you all for tuning in again to Pamela Promotes Parker. And like, you know, she said, you can look at her website. It's amazing too. You'll see a lot of her work there. It's beautiful. And if you haven't got your headshot done before, your family I'm sure she would do your whole family. So she'll do an amazing job. Thank you for tuning in. Again, I'm Pamela Church at Pamela Promotes Parker. And if you would like to keep seeing interviews like this, go to the website, follow me on social media Beyond Just Homes, or under this particular video, you can click on the link if you'd like to have your interview done for a business that you own. I would love to do that. And until next time, in our next interview, we hope to see you then.